scrapping draconian taxes to alleviate hardship and ease the high cost of doing business. I promise to scrap the e-levy, the COVID levy, the 10% levy on bet winnings, and the emissions levy within my first 90 days in office. This is the COVID Health Recovery Levy Repeal Act 2025. Signed.
The president said Ghana for so be ye floor. Ghana for near the Mujidi. I mean, I'm so be ye floor. Okay. Because I'm going to Mujidi. Sure. I didn't know I would drink 10. And I would drink some Mahama said, "But 10. Maybe be new crowd, the idea drink a dent to me."
So Speaker was like, business should go on. Now the NDC started working. Speaker was listening. But these people deliberately decided to say, led by Addo Prez, Abrowa poso to say APJ.
Oman we peace be na chain. President John Mahama ba kra na yenye peace Oman we.
Yeah.
And the blogger say what Ghana nyina obi atimi kasa.
Sure.
Obi atimi fa phone kire na adwemeboa. Akufo the time one na etimi ye.
Ghana for your Amaro Shakur TV, and then the first time now we share a channel where I say video and more than I can subscribe button. No leave a comment the unya pa na wa share video no so am for Friday. Ashe na niam bebre asi wo Ghana ha. President of Ghana John Dramani Mahama during the campaign or share boss say oba obi COVID levy and levy taxes bebre and then so was stand back on abetum yeah COVID levy we year fresh say okoba bia Ghana for niaje o share the wa enema si na hu say
edi kan chia hwefo ne atiefo nyina say mo support FM the why na ma share na ma subscribe ya mai okay say the NDC aban no 2024 campaign mo share Ghana for bo say mo be e-levy COVID levy mission levy betting tax flow
scrapping draconian taxes to alleviate hardship and ease the high cost of doing business. I promise to scrap the e-levy, the COVID levy, the 10% levy on bet winnings, and the emissions levy within my first 90 days in office. These tax expenditure measures were central to our 2025 budget statement. On April 2nd, 2025, I signed several bills into law, including the Electronic Transfer Levy e-levy repeal bill 2025, the emissions levy repeal bill, and the betting tax. We have delivered on 3 of these 4 specific tax repeals as promised. The COVID levy has intricate linkages to the existing IMF program. As a value-added tax, we have agreed with our multilateral partners to include it in our overall VAT rationalization exercise that is scheduled for September this year. We've significantly exceeded our 120-day promises regarding overall tax reform by enacting other critical bills such as the Value-Added Tax Amendment Bill, the Income Tax Amendment Bill, the removal of VAT on motor vehicles, the Public Financial Management Bill, the Growth and Sustainability Levy Act, the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Bill, the Gold Board Bill, the Energy Sector Levy Bill, and the Petroleum Revenue Amendment Bill.
And we betting tax the mission levy and the e-levy.
Sure.
And then I mentioned the President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, sadly, in his Shankrata, ye COVID levy a few.
This is the COVID Health Recovery Levy Repeal Act 2025. And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Signed. Purported to provide free water, free electricity, free food, and a lot of things. And to the shock of most Ghanaians after the pandemic was over and after the elections were over, government slapped Ghanaians with a 1% value-added tax, ostensibly to recover what it's supposed to have spent on the COVID pandemic. Ghana continued to remain one of the only countries where we're being taxed for a pandemic that had passed. And so during the election, we promised that when the NDC comes to power, the COVID levy is one of those who repeal. A lot of Ghanaians have disliked this tax, and today I'm pleased that on the 10th of December 2025, I've signed the repeal act to remove the 1% COVID levy. And I will present it to the Clerk of Parliament.
As you say, Obian will be to your COVID levy.
Obian
now, all you COVID can send say, a pandemic a buyer. Once a buyer, no, Akufo Addo time Peter, to free water bill, ni light bill. And no, no, Musa critics I didn't see in San Fentuatua. But we are singing na ya lay by a Ghana and Kwana baby a want tax.
Wow.
And a tax in the near year, the president shall Ghana for so be ye floor. A Ghana for near the Mujidi. I mean, I'm so be ye for that. Okay. Because I'm one Mujidi. Koba was saying, I may system minister Sampa Bawa sister. Is here to a Kai in ye. Me ba may say, Ocean near ma, President John Dramani Mahama to Tonam Mujidi so be. And the energy Samsa was saying, COVID levy a flew. Obianiaji Obiaka was. But that COVID levy, yet he say, Nessica Humbabiana Afa. Answer, especially betting tax. Your tax boys and carbine introduce, so I won't say the Kushe beeping. Yeah. What did they mention us? On the Ghana, ye tax and say, I bet magic tax say, a be a betting tax. Ye betting tax say, yes, force. It's ye be a boab one would see one big one big sports stadium. Naka bois you too. Sika ye jina, but a bedu obaji yes, ye say you may be an afa. Oh, Ghana tax I had you was saying, no. Ye cousin called 2 year the young mine ya. Quebecoin, but ye better 2 and I be do be crana. And 22 boy, they 2. Citizen now, no, first of all, Nedman yet. A Juma now, I and so minimum wage you can 25 cedi. Catch you a day. Sanya Manuyashi. Now, sad the 2 batonoswa. Oh, honey panel. So I think your name boy, you free citizens who are now more my free kakra. So more now to Tonyama. Now who COVID levy biania the Totoswa. Body ding. Buabo, yes, get fun. First, levy, COVID levy. So, call restaurant could do COVID levy. How? About COVID is such a idea about Buama investors near Monsua or Motom because we call pizza man. I'm COVID levy, they can't price no, what do you mean about the show cost of to see a year's tax in a buying in a. This is about from the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, say, or so a share bar where you betting, levy, mission levy, and what the COVID as account. Wow. Now, Andra may also share parliament. Yeah. Andra parliament man minority in someone Tiasia and my business and Koso. Just say, much says a multi-son to him, no term, no Mahama, no term, no term. And na agenda na say me be entia obi atrim say no term see you say Ghana for President John Mahama ye to abama no say just 1 year sure I didn't na wo dream term and I wo dream say Mahama say be ko term na bibi ni kura de adwin na dan trim Trump ya ni nyina twa the same other na America won ka Trump term yeah na bibi ni a wo ti a wo tu ya no wo dream term and then I say on say MPP for no omo nwe de we o man ni betumpon power. Emphasize on the chairman. Me can you say President of Ghana, John Doma, my His Excellency. So you not take time to mentor man. Mentor abanamano. I didn't think mentor man. Seb John Mahama chasa patua. And this is need baby ababi chasa sapan. President no so aka say won quarter term.
Bernard said I'm in danger of becoming a supreme leader. Look in my face. Do I look like a supreme leader? And that is to paraphrase Prof. Star. At times, do I look like a cat hunter? Do I look like a supreme leader? I'm a Democrat true and true. And even when we attained 2/3 of parliament, I said that we're not going to use it to ride roughshod over the minority, and that we're going to give opportunity for democracy to flourish. And so we don't intend to use our 2/3 majority to steamroll our democracy. We believe that even though the people of Ghana gave us that overwhelming majority, it wasn't meant to turn Ghana into a dictatorship. They gave it to us in order that we could carry out reforms to make our governance better. And I think that we stand a very good chance with that 2/3 majority to finally move the amendments to the Constitution that we have all wanted. In the past, because of hung parliaments and all that, we couldn't make any progress because there are some of those amendments for which you need an overwhelming majority. And so Ghanaians have given us that opportunity and say, look, go ahead and do these things so that we can have a better constitution that will take Ghana for many more generations to come. And so that's what I believe. But I certainly am not on the way to becoming a supreme leader or an autocrat.
MP before, above for be ridiculous lies. Sabi impediasa. Nyansa, sorry. Atro semwa sabi impediasa. En to aso mo so nka ho. Wo zanto bi wo ha. Say one no mo suko be ka say no kre. Because say nipa na betumi aka no. But mo de ntro a sabi impediasa. En san so nto aso mo.
I see.
Say wo kan bofo a sabi impediasa ma no de sumi na so.
Senseless no nice anu e de wo
senseless lies.
Eye.
Ansa na wo betumi asesa constitution wo Ghana. E be gina tetem no. I was here the boni for referendum you be a friend entrench clause. Eno no emra etintim agi hini pa wo betu afi wa wo hia 2/3 of Ghana for be akoto aba ansa na o masesa. There's no way I beto aba Ghana ha party be 2/3 of the votes.
Okay.
Inti enya de be sipo.
Now, are you sure say all these initiatives, President Betimi within 4 years? Or maybe and you say, okay, let's use the court process. Now you say, oh, okay, one 2 terms consecutive. You know,
with the Ghana politics just check. Politics here in Ghana, with the check. So what President Mahama pa also be able to acquire them. I will be a tiamra. Now, Nipa a cassetia the crown within Sawas. Nipa kasetiano ya no ono obudin sa manasa woni azuri ono ane no mutu oye publication bi tia president ba kan kwa president ma di nkuguo 2016 na so president ma nya ne ntie se nipa bonefo bi bu afu nti on person ma de dom no o ma asrafo ko bo ne ho ban wodi fie.
Okay.
No bi osesa no betumi ayi bi tia.
Ebi ana ni nipa so ni beautiful na nso kai onim di fo bi o say power corrupt and absolute power corrupt absolute nti ebi ana power no
Ghana ha there's nothing like absolute power.
Okay.
Absolute power ni obi say ni awaye ku a constitution ni o.
But we have an executive president who has much executive power.
We don't have a lot of power, but we need absolute power. There are checks and balances.
Okay.
Say ne oye bi na court na high court judge e ka say e legal obejai because he is restrained by a high court.
Okay.
Inti mamenkansi sudua. Sa asem na MP4 nka no e ka say opetetem no e ya tro sem an san so nto asomu. It is baseless.
Ono akase won kotetem. Eti die ntina 1 year pa watwa no wo nya akwanya yakọ parliament ye be pass mla business ama minor to ponse tetem and a tetem or sell because I don't have any idea about it because we want peace. What peace? O man we peace be na change. President John Mahama ba kra na yenye peace o man we.
Yeah.
And the blogger say what Ghana nyina obi atimi kasa. Obi atimi fa phone kire na adwemebo a Akufo all the time one na etimi ye. Peace be na change we. Peace what the peace be na change we. Shem dem echa say any say o drink third term okrampo say o be ko third term. O man no na unim 3 years unim de oda wani.
Unim de bi.
Unim de oda wani. Nipa no krampo no. Nipa na yede ayi na mano no. Yede akunya na mano. Aka ni 3 years.
Yeah. Enti eni kwa
3 years no kwa watwa 1 year kasi say 3 years. Also wo dwen next 4 years abeka. Why? Bibi ni ade.
But according to my rights, almost kire say bia pandayo say for seat na I didn't try NDC ani abre wo ho.
And then Supreme Court na say say seat ni basaba se ntia nkoto aba no foforo me a me tuoi se minim se ayesa wakọ afenyo marking na yesi aba na omoto wo wiem yesa nkoto foforo because of afenyo marking nim de waye nti obewini meboa
obewini
oba bantma se o se asenso boache na yesa eto ase bawa asenso boache obewini ndisi
obewini
okọ Northton abrako na elections yesa ato obewini
sure
it is a electoral commission say ya yenkoto wo gidie say ubewini bia na wako
because okra wote so nti wo
so that I mean wo power no nyesa de only power no wo power na wonim say nyesa obi awu MP na eni nkrofo to abama no ene yese niam anko ye ntia nsa nkoto no foforo ni ogidie say me ba ye kura de me ye ntoma me ti die nti na wo panike
na enro an me na me ntia say minority so mo ntia say ma government business
but de omo ye nyina nsa nkosi aga hwe se na de MPP fo nya hu say na de Ghana politics iko no youth na ni di social media chiu sure enti eno na nya omo de to aba eno na social eno na omo de to aba
the traditional media
enti se mo ye niam bi na mo fa ne normal first no bi say na parliament house na nkrofo say na nya adaje krahwe parliament proceedings but you to be a shebi o de ya check so omo parliament o ko omo life bu obekọ nipa 1000 guso
5k ne
me dey fa normal bisa first no mo yakọ nipa 100 crunch ya me che what say that mean say na youth ni ba politics na youth ni sua bibi so eti wo na wo position ese wo ye niema ma ho ya akono enya niema always bi ase obi ehun say nkofo we pa na pese san de abama omo no kofo we pa na pese de amamo no the MPP for years answer because we any alternative here because he says so ma anya agenda bi say Mahama pese o change mla about term Mahama pese o change mla about term omuni any message na wo be kama Ghana ni ato abama they don't have any message cheme message omo ebi ni ho
you see I said Bawumia ka so be betting
bi anti ensema Bawumia be ka say oto abama ni na Mahama ye okay say parliament after say Mahama ka so the system ministers no afenyo ma ka say enya possible but the system minister nya na di bu man no eti niam o mo dwen say Mahama ntimi nya ne Mahama youth our form na appointment our form no adwuma mu bontie na obi a ho hyehye no na social media na aba na ebua Mahama ma na ye adwuma me fa we metwam example also recently no ene obi a ye maame mo omo po adwuma wo kroma obi a se yenya ka ye sha se wo social media no ene minister transport minister o se jagunu chem and we be release ba say wo akra ne ade ade a ye fefa mo ye say be pressure say mle kuma senso and o che say the social media
social media
and no mo dey hwe so the bubo man because say the way ye pressure by no o transport minister na ye pressure wa minister o street minister no president o street president no so to social media
o hwe bi
to one of them or the chief of staff say munhwe na munya bibi first
sure
and no MPP for ni hwe o maye o mani so mu ka sa amamu na ekwa na normal da bi
amaro sendro a o hwe parliament proceedings a afel markets amba bi amanfo nso keka say afel markets set minority ni up sa uhuni sa
afenyo de on say afenyo no say kan kula MPP no mpanyufo na ewum no most of them kra benya na nka yina firi wo
yina firi wo
because the oye no ono no ye de build no you say Ghana wo bo afenyo market obi anim no ayi beye majority leader chairman sabonsu close to 7 years obi antini leader mebwa ba afenyo beye no nanse won say obi atini de obi sa ono no dey building no in the political career o onya ade say be feel because ono debi no oba be presidential ambition ni bi oba be president na no me play bi na dey MPP party no ko obi a waje din yi Bawumia flu anya afenyo omo ojiji din no bo hwan a waje din che omo yi Bawumia flu a okay Canada hwan na isi waje din wo MPP party udi ni pia bonti anya afenyo to oye niema bi oye niema ebe mana da
sell parliament anytime be aggressive no
that's all into ono betima mo aye hu ade a ebe affect ono ne political career akura bi obetima twene wo so oma
na hu se ndo so no oma hyehyɛ nose mask edenti
so omo say omo hyehyɛ black nya na meka to say omo say term president Mahama pese mine say o mine that way na
ti minority na say omo pese o mine be ko na nimi
omo de omo pia bonte kro omo say ade omo say the NDC and omontia sema proceedings nkoso but still na bibia koso because wow. They omo do so chen what you say
amaro yen free parliament And then so as I'm see lithium see Ghana ya saji ya de back.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, listening to my colleagues from the other side, they have made my work very easy. They have given reasons why there's a need for us to withdraw this agreement. He's saying that he's listened to very prominent people. He's listened to so many NGOs and civil society organizations, and they are all calling on us to do further works on this very important agreement. It is for that reason that the listening minister, the listening government has decided that we withdraw this agreement, do further work, involving you in this, so that together we can move together. Mr. Speaker, I leave, and the leave is accordingly sought. Thank you.
You resign. You want to say more sign deal. You say 10%. Then this government say there be a chance sign. You know, but now say ni akeka boom. Ni a shop. The way lithium deal no. Yes, aye. Because when you make say, yeah, buy na Newmont, Anglo Gold. Gold are here to in a Ghana and 10%. 10%. So for the GC go mbuto we are on the call. Then you mention they send a new mineral resource. You dey actually lithium. We can we see mineral resources. You use the lithium is one of them. And only a batteries, car batteries. Te unya ade nyankopon de ache wo ya discover be esa de kuma Australia company say 10% MPP time
now or company for 90%.
Oh for 90 now am 10% because never be seen refinery near there but when say refinery say my enko focus ko we bet matter $500 million they say refinery na togo mu nyina boy Burkina Faso mu nyina refinery omo go refinery. How much more Ghana ni gold refinery yenye lithium ni refinery ya de an say de be de ama company bi nu otuko Nyame ache bibia o. Nyame ache bibia nti eno so a good move. Win-win for Ghana. Say president of Ghana ni NDC government so match aside 10%. Ni sokura anya 70-40 and 50-50. Simple be ba be fa on fa ma ya de na nwura mu nsai. Ya ye de nyame na de ache. It is a wubloni na so ba betu no. O 50-50 wo betu abetu. 60-40 wo betu o metu akọ. And I say I am pay lithium refinery near I am pro no muntu ya de mai. I guess enema bia maintain because you pay for no go school abrotile. Asa enema we here. Ya so ko Singapore mo de abe na develop your country mo ni bibia. Your country bo mo ni hwe o.
Omo wo e bia idea
ba ko pe me se me call take wo ni hwe. But to call we develop e die ntia. Adenti na ye na nyame ama e bibia de ebele. This na bia ye bele. Huh?
Amaro yare ho.
Aye.
Amaro eye be ko no yen ko international akra.
Yeah.
Over the weekend yet say na Benin omo be attempt coup bi. Yeah. Yet say omo chi Nigerian for soldiers bi. That story no hu ni say Ghana etamo kama say coup beto be happen.
On say there coup there yen mompa say bi so Ghana. Coup nya de pa.
Okay.
Coup there nya de pa. Ntimpa ya ebo say the leaders na dwen sesa. Na omo nya oman ni ye. Coup there nya de pa. Aboa be na. Hey. Judge me no. Coup de nya de pa empire ye mon said nyankopon ma ye leaders na dwen sesa na omonyu oman Ghana o say Ghana ye sua ye just 30 million pe
yeah
nyame ache bibia coup de nya de pa Benin ho no kwa wonye bibia Togo ni ade but the amount of ye coup ni say soldiers for no say mpanifo no niema e cheap am de be mani pa na mfa mo mo a de na om say ne yenye coup and Burkina ye ku on the way Burkina developing and Burkina to think president me think ahead then I president of Ghana John Dramani Kura we the president na no so fa bi on say o ka say ka kese bia a wo be free Ghana wo be ba no du a wo be twa so anasa wo be ludo but president Mahama hu ye no so the example that's all no Kura won ko school won ko school sa we just military no akọ but yeah we are politicians no makọ school professors ni ade but on akra strategy odi bu o man eti ku nya de pa e ba o man mu a e ma niema bebiri se ma ntokwasi e ma most of them be than refugees enti nya de pa e na de abo Ghana so de me nyini so say we are seeing Ghana na enkontokwada ye enkontokwa ye dodo ye ho ti akase enya possible ensi ye mompa e kura se sam
na se bia ban bi leader bi ba na se wa chichire niema so a
ano de antina ama social media ba na obi ani abie no ati dem tell say because in Ghana no NDC e wonya power nei se ne oye mistake ni obu amamu ofu a next 4 years e beto ati ana MPP aba eti obi obenya oyi akonya ne bia no onya akonya ne bia won say ma menya ne ma yewu na mentena so nche ene se medi 10 a ma mini 5 na nka 5 and on a boa citizens in your sofa so. It is the Abua Ghana say social media. And because swam in the better to your own for Chilam or mine for to my pefla. And I mean, him says, there was to be a youth to know so about politics more. To say you to need about politics more. And be more mine near money and pencophobia, no, to be baffled. So what did the nature say? I mean, for we enter to once a first, no, near appointing ministers. Obuha Osiakutu 80 something years near appointing as a Greek minister. Or ni bibia sa dream be den team say in the next 8 years because dream ewu
because on him say be 10 years obewu
to one on critical thinking bia bo anko critical thinking bia no ba ko fa sami dem fi as a Greek minister or dream ahead initiative do be ba no den so what you
dey good board so handle
and na ebo and this aban youth no eti ya better president of Ghana John Dramani Mahama say was shas here 1 year but o monke come now mining fan to my prefer
it is a west dia almost 30 years they know the NDC were still working. The speaker was still making sure proceedings were ongoing because they are being paid. Minu mi any taxes na dia mo so munye djuma enti speaker there or say ye nyina agya tum say yentina ha no we need to work. I am not going to send anybody out because any or no ne powers mu so be pam obi free parliament. No. Ye dim raso na ye nyina wa ha. Enti say won ye ready say obetia. Speaker was ready to listen to whoever wants to work. So speaker was like business should go on. Now the NDC started working. Speaker was listening. But these people deliberately decided say led by Addo Prez Aberwa poso to say APJ, they wanted to attack the NDC. When MPs know omu ye did for about 30 minutes. Now she in see. Then they started going forward because they wanted a scaffold. Now more pentokwa. Now more pentokwa bia. At the end of the day, Parliament in Tokobe see you be proud obi, ya na see be cool obi. Na abeka say hey NDC ba power no. Parliament in Tokobe see Emma Speaker of Parliament and the soldier for ba. But Speaker so onjimi the marshals or more Parliament technically Parliament police for no they have the power to make sure say there's order in the chamber. Until they also did their job. Every time we are LP before no, I imagine say they want to go after Speaker or they want to go after the NDC, you know, they come in the middle and stop them. The agenda wasn't to come and work. The agenda was to come and attack NDC for. The agenda was to cause a lot of chaos. Senya beya in Tokobe Sima Obi Moje tu Obi. Now if you want to catch Ghana for say ya can't chemo. Ya ne minority. Ya ba parliament no. Oma buye. Oma prepare yanko for. But you could see how the NDC respects democracy of this nation. How the Speaker of Parliament also respects your democracy. They sat in Parliament and they were working for you and I. Wona na uti jomna oka se ebe na nyome mo emre ebe na abana ayemra ebe na abana eye adwuma no na aban ne ye adwuma so na MPP fo pa aban mu enkofo mu ye adwuma te so mo ekuo mo. They wanted to murder the NDC for. They wanted to attack the Speaker of Parliament. That was the intention somebody about Parliament and there. Into Sha, when you watch the subsequent videos,
I rise to second the motion and doing so present your committee's budget report. Mr. Speaker, I urge the Hamza department to capture entire report has having been read. Mr. Speaker, as I state my conclusion, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore entreats the Ministry of Finance to uncap the entirely generating funds of the MPRA in order that the authority could open.
Jamaro assemble na wo ma NDC abai.
The America say we are all building the Ghana we want together. From next year the adwuma na be share gidi. This year na share here but you kwa kontum kakra say Christmas festival e diwia. Adwuma na be share gidi. NDC niema bi o mo share so mo ye say ye kwan say ye de ya kwa kutwa che Ghana for the contractors wo. Niema bia o ma share bo so mo ye no. Ye hwe 3 months 4 months a ye kwa kutwa se contractors wo. Ne de a che Ghana. Pese ye nyina build the Ghana we want together.
Next year no be review.
Ye review. Wow. Bia president na share bo ya mana konya se wo ye no. Ye be ko ho say ye kwan a no so wo ye be ko se contractors wo kwan na ekoso a say ye ba bi no akokate so say ye dan no wo se ye be ko na de aka wura mu nso a MPP ye ya ne wu afini ya say twa kire no na wa reverse no mai
abusua enne de ye nche wa ha aha ayamaro Shakur TV ene no first time na wo share channel we ya subscribe they said ayamaro na nkasa ka no next year ye review baby biara project bi wa Mahama de na no boss say no 4 years to come, I say 3 years to come no be complete no or kwa kutwa na wo so ye de wa hwe de ekoso e wo nti bo mo de na share video no ma onua so no ye de on hwe de ekoso e wo Ghana politics me din e de cyber bye bye
global